It all started a few years ago when I first moved to Los Angeles. I was full of excitement and dreams. Los Angeles seemed like the place where everyone goes to make it big. The city was bright, busy, and full of opportunities. It felt like everything I wanted was just a few steps away. I had always wanted to live in a big city. Growing up in a small town, I had heard so many stories about LA. I had seen it in movies, read about it in books, and listened to friends talk about the city of dreams. So, when I finally got the chance to move, I didn't think twice. I packed my bags, said goodbye to my family, and flew to LA, ready to start a new chapter of my life. At first, everything was amazing. I loved the sunshine, the beaches, the people, and the energy of the city. I felt like I was in the right place. I would spend my days walking along Hollywood Boulevard, visiting the iconic spots, and meeting new people. The city had so much to offer, and I was determined to make the most of it, but soon, things started to change. The excitement wore off, and I began to realize that living in LA wasn't as perfect as I had imagined. I started feeling overwhelmed by the fast pace of the city. There was always something happening, always something to do, but it felt like I was constantly running to keep up. The traffic in LA was worse than I had ever imagined. I would spend hours stuck in my car, watching the minutes tick by, feeling the heat and frustration building up. I had to plan my entire day around the traffic. I couldn't go anywhere without thinking about how long it would take to get there. It was exhausting, and it made me question whether all of the opportunities in the city were really worth it. Another thing that started to get to me was the cost of living. Los Angeles is an expensive city, and rent was sky high. I found myself spending almost all of my money just on my apartment. It was a small, cramped place, but it was all I could afford. I remember waking up every morning and seeing the cracks in the walls and the stains on the carpet. But I told myself it was just a small price to pay for living in such a cool city. As time went on, I began to feel more and more disconnected. Despite the fact that LA is full of people, I felt incredibly lonely. Everyone seemed so busy with their own lives, and I had a hard time making real connections. People would smile at you, but it never felt genuine. The friendships I tried to form never seemed to last, and I couldn't shake the feeling that people were only interested in what they could get from you. I missed the sense of community that I had back in my small town. In LA, everything felt superficial, and I felt like I was just another person lost in the crowd. I didn't know where I fit in. It was hard to find people who cared about me for who I was, rather than what I could offer. I also began to realize that the lifestyle in LA wasn't for me. The city thrives on ambition, and everyone seems to be working towards something bigger. People talk about their careers, their dreams, and their successes, but it all felt so competitive. I felt like I had to constantly prove myself, and the pressure to make it was overwhelming. One evening, I went to a party in Hollywood. It was the kind of party where everyone was dressed to impress, talking about their latest projects, and comparing their achievements. I felt like an outsider. I wasn't interested in the shallow conversations, and I didn't care about the latest trends. I just wanted to have a meaningful conversation, to connect with people on a deeper level. But that night, it felt like everyone was just pretending, trying to be someone they weren't. As I walked home that night, I thought about my life in LA. I had spent so much time chasing success, trying to fit in, and pushing myself to keep up with everyone else. But I realized that I was losing myself in the process. I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. And I didn't want to live a life that felt so empty. The next day, I started thinking about leaving Los Angeles. I knew it wouldn't be easy. I had built my life there, and I had to give up so many things to leave. But deep down, I knew it was the right decision. I wasn't going to find happiness by staying in a place that didn't align with my values, so I made the choice to leave. It wasn't an easy decision, and I felt a mix of emotions. There was sadness, fear, and uncertainty, but there was also a sense of relief. I knew I needed to go back to a place where I felt at peace, where I could reconnect with myself and with the people who truly cared about me. I packed my things, said goodbye to the few friends I had made, and left the city behind. As I drove away from LA, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was leaving behind the pressure, the stress, and the loneliness. I was heading toward a new beginning. After leaving LA, I returned to my small town. At first, it felt strange. I had spent so much time in the fast-paced, crowded city, and now I was back in a quiet, familiar place. But as I settled back into my old routine, I realized how much I had missed it. There was a sense of calm here that I hadn't felt in a long time. People greeted each other with a smile, and there was a real sense of community. I could go to the local cafe, sit down with a cup of coffee, and have a genuine conversation with someone. It felt like home. I also started to focus more on the things that truly mattered to me: family, friends, and personal growth. I found joy in the little things again, like taking walks in the park, reading a good book, or spending time with my loved ones. I wasn't chasing a big career or trying to impress anyone. I was simply living my life the way I wanted to. Leaving Los Angeles taught me so much about myself. I learned that success isn't about being the busiest, the most popular, or the most successful person in the room. It's about finding peace, being true to yourself, and surrounding yourself with people who support and care for you. I realized that the hustle and bustle of LA wasn't the answer to happiness. Sometimes, you have to step away from the chaos to find what truly matters. Now, when I look back at my time in Los Angeles, I don't regret it. I learned a lot, and I made some amazing memories. But I also know that it wasn't the right place for me. Leaving LA was one of the best decisions I ever made. It allowed me to reconnect with myself and find a sense of peace that I had been missing for so long. If you're ever feeling lost or overwhelmed, remember that it's okay to leave behind something that no longer serves you. It's okay to take a step back and reevaluate what truly makes you happy. Sometimes, the best decision is the one that takes you away from the noise and helps you find your way back to what really matters. And that's why I left Los Angeles. It wasn't easy, but it was the right choice for me. I found a place where I could be myself again, and that's the most important thing of all. The end. Thanks for listening to the story. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on more stories. See you next time.